Cozy season is ahead, and you'll be spending way more time inside. Is your home ready? Don't worry. With Wayfair, you can upgrade your space without breaking the bank. Score up to 70% off during their Labor Day clearance on furniture, area rugs, mattresses, and more. Plus, surprise flash deals you can't miss. Whether it's one room or the whole house, Wayfair has pieces for every style and budget.
Shop Wayfair's Labor Day clearance now through September 7th at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
This is the Washington Times front page for Monday, August 24th, 2026. Thanks for starting your week with us. I'm George Gerbo. Iranian officials are warning of a seismic retaliation against what the Trump administration describes as a massive new economic sanctions push. Ben Wolfgang reports the recently appointed Secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, Mohsen Rezai, said Iran will do whatever it can to fully stop energy exports from the region. It signals Iran wants to use its leverage over the global oil market to extract a more favorable deal with the United States. The Trump administration appears set to use economic sanctions rather than more direct military strikes to pressure Iran into a deal that fully opens the Strait of Hormuz to commercial shipping. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the restrictions are likely to serve as a substitute for further major U.S. military operations. The Congressional Budget Office estimates the Supreme Court's decision striking down President Trump's broad tariffs on imports means the government will take in about $700 billion less in customs duties. That includes refunds on the $166 billion in tariffs already collected before the court ruling, Stephen Dinan reports. Because the government is already running deficits, the $700 billion will add an extra $200 billion in debt service, leaving roughly $900 billion that was not there when the CBO issued its February 2026 baseline projections. In February, the court ruled 6-3 that the International Emergency Economic Powers Act does not authorize the president to impose tariffs. The estimate comes as talks for a comprehensive trade deal between the U.S. and Canada have collapsed. Susan Ferricchio and Mary McHugh Bell report the U.S. imposed 50% tariffs on $20 billion in Canadian imports after negotiations collapsed Friday. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney said Canada will impose dollar-for-dollar retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods beginning September 8th. The tariffs will target steel, dairy, appliances, agricultural equipment, pulp and paper, and electronics. Carney said Saturday the talks unraveled because U.S. negotiators introduced last-minute changes, among them limitations on Canada's ability to secure trade deals with other countries. Democrats running in swing districts nationwide are discreetly asking outside groups to not bring up President Trump in their races. George Caldwell reports candidates are using a practice known as red boxing. Their websites provide what are called media kits to legally navigate campaign finance laws and provide outside political action committees with guidance on how to spend most effectively in their favor. The kits usually list political messages and specific media markets and are tucked into campaign websites to clue PACs in on which talking points to use. Campaigns are prohibited from privately coordinating with outside groups on spending for or against candidates, but the Federal Election Commission doesn't crack down on campaigns releasing public information about their messaging strategies. And finally, anti-abortion advocates say abortions after the 24th week of pregnancy could go up in 10 states that have abolished all gestational limits. As lawmakers in states such as Colorado and Massachusetts have acted on the Supreme Court's 2022 Dobbs ruling, which returned jurisdiction over abortion to the states, Sean Salai reports most anti-abortion groups predict that will lead to a spike in procedures. Pro-abortion proponents, however, counter the demand for second and third trimester abortions is rare. They predict few doctors will accept the legal, medical, and political risks of learning to perform the procedures in non-emergency situations. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Watch Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.